Well, hey everybody, a long time no chat. This week we are memory keeping for the week that was April 6th through the 12th, and I don't really remember what kit I originally had pulled for this week that I showed in my lineup. I ended up switching it out though for leftovers. These are both Cinderella paper kits that I mashed together. I think I showed this in my February lineup or maybe my March lineup. I can't remember, but it is a combination of the stargazing art and the rain in my window or something art. Both are from clip art kits. Both kits are from Cinderella paper, and I had leftovers for both. And the reason why I switched to this for this week is a combination of there was a big storm this weekend that we're going to see here, and then also the Artemis 2 came back to Earth, landing in San Diego, California, which was very exciting. I did not realize how invested I was eventually going to be in that, like in the course of maybe a week, because I didn't even know we were sending people up into space this week until like the day it happened. But I did not realize how invested I was going to be in that until the week rolled around and ended up watching the live stream on the Friday of this week, and my cat was very into it, especially when like all the parachutes deployed. Like, I don't know, I just feel like I needed some good news for once. There's a lot of national news and international news that is really heavy and really hard to deal with lately. And that's the case a lot of the time, but lately it seems like there's just more and more, right? So I think having something hopeful, something cool going on in the national news for once was really something I needed at this point in the year. So yeah, we got a little bit of rainy day vibes. We got a little bit of space vibes. I thought about switching to Kitnish Jess's most recent space themed art, but I think I'm just gonna save that for future moon missions that are coming up, hopefully in the next few years. And yeah, other than that, a pretty heavy work week. April and May are obviously very heavy work weeks, work months for me. The other thing that was going on was that I was notified that I got an Olympics sales ticket slot on the Tuesday of this week. So there was a lot of planning around that. I originally was not going to sign up for a slot for LA ticket sales for the Olympics in 2028, but a bunch of my family members did. And my dad really, really wants to go. So, and he got assigned like a ticket slot that was like a whole week after mine. So those of us, it was very random, like who got a ticket slot when, because I think they had them for like starting on the Thursday of this week, following through like the Thursday or Friday of the week after this one. And like I signed up way after a bunch of my other family members did. Like I signed up probably during the winter, like towards the end of the Winter Olympics this year. I was like watching figure skating and I'm like, sure, why not? I'll add my name to the list. But yeah, I was given the Friday of this week, which was like the second day of general ticket sales. And so me, my sister who got a Thursday slot, and my brother who also had a Friday slot, we basically bought the tickets for the family. So, which worked out because the people who like really, really wanted to go, I feel, got ticket slots like the next week. So that's how we handled that. But there was a lot of like plotting. The schedules were like really hard to make sense of, quite frankly. Like I was getting quite overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't even know what's going to be available once my ticket slot opens up. And honestly, there wasn't a whole lot left, especially for like cheaper tickets by the time that we got to our ticket sales, because there could be a million reasons that we don't even know about. But also the week before this, like they opened it up to LA residents specifically, which is good, but they definitely got some of like the cheaper tickets as well. So yeah, I think we have tickets for like 3 different events at this point for 2028. As with a lot of things with national pride and things like that, like obviously there's issues with the Olympics. I'm well familiar with that, especially because we used to live near Los Angeles, and so they've been planning for this, and like there's a lot that could be going better, quite frankly. And then also with NASA, like there's issues with that as well, but there were some exciting things going on this week and a lot to look forward to in the next few years, while also keeping in mind like some of the terrible stuff that can go on with that as well. Oh, we got a new fridge this week, which means our landlord got us a new fridge because our fridge died the week before. So we lost a lot of our freezer food, unfortunately, because by the time we realized that the freezer was no longer freezing, like that food was definitely not frozen anymore. So that kind of sucked. But oh well, now we have a nice new fridge. Our old fridge was definitely like from the early 2000s when this house was built, and like the white fridge that was very in then. And now we have a nice, brand new stainless steel fridge, nice and clean, all that stuff. So that came in this week. And then, like I said, it was a big rainy weekend. I think this was the first rain we really got since February. So we had a stay at home weekend. And I read. Clover was super excited about thunderstorms because she's crazy like that. She's an April shower baby. We'll talk about that next week. And we also finally finished some like smaller projects we had going on around the house. But yeah, let's get into the day by day. It's been so long since I've done a voiceover that I'm like not used to talking this way. So sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place. The habit tracker is for flossing. The checklist in the sidebar is for dinners. Monday, I marked a concert countdown. I marked yoga. And then I did a bunch of online shopping because there were a bunch of like toiletry type items that I needed. And then I was also doing a bunch of travel research this day. So I guess I didn't have any work to do this day. Yeah, I had graded everything that needed to be graded up to this point. So I was just doing some travel research for the next 6 months to a year or so. And then we had bought charcuterie items for Easter the day before. Well, we didn't buy them the day before, but we had bought them for Easter, but we hadn't used them yet. So we decided to make a charcuterie board for dinner this night. And then I watched a bunch of 10-minute Power Hour and Last Week Tonight on YouTube. Most of the stickers during this week are going to be from shops that either no longer sell that style of sticker or are just entirely closed. So I apologize about that. If you have any questions about any stickers, let me know down below. But like most of these things are featured from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., Wonton and a Million, which we know Wonton and a Million is closed permanently, I think, at this point, other than maybe grab bags. And then Sweet Ava's Paper is still open, but like all the stickers I'm using here are her old format stickers. So like you can still get stuff from Sweet Ava's Paper, but like not these exact stickers. So I apologize for that. But also, I'm using my stash, obviously, so not going to apologize too much. Tuesday, I woke up really early. I don't know why. I've been having more sleep disruptions lately, and I'm not really sure why. But I'm going to pull in a sleep mask from Bella Planella. I believe that Bella Planella is still open. I think she watches here every now and then. So yes. And then I went and taught my classes. I graded papers. Oh, I forgot about this. I witnessed a crash between a UPS truck and a pickup truck this day because I was getting off the freeway and there's a stop sign at the end of this on-ramp, and the pickup truck in front of me did not look twice before crossing the intersection, and luckily nobody was hurt. Sorry, this is going to be a little bit triggering if you have any trauma with car crashes, so maybe skip ahead 20 seconds. But anyway, luckily nobody was hurt, but basically the pickup truck in front of me was going straight and a UPS truck like sideswiped that, but they pulled right in front of the UPS truck and like went into the intersection. And I checked and everyone was fine, luckily, but the person in front of me, like honestly, they caused it. Like they're lucky nothing happened because a UPS truck is obviously a lot bigger than a standard pickup truck. They're just really lucky that their mistake didn't like cost them, because they just like kind of breezed through the stop sign without checking, and that was kind of scary. But luckily everybody seemed to be okay. I had a Zoom meeting after I got home. Then we had to clean out the fridge, and that's where we discovered a bunch of our food had definitely gone non-food safe. And then I was doing a bunch of Olympic plotting, I'll call it, this night because it had been announced that I had gotten a ticket slot for the Friday ticket sales. So I thought it was funny to pull in these Molly Planner Olympic stickers this week, because this one on the bottom of Tuesday is like her weightlifting a bunch of planners, which is kind of what I felt like I was doing, trying to navigate all of the sports schedules. And then I watched a bunch of Josh Johnson on YouTube. The emoticon stickers are from an old Michaels sticker book, if you care. or an old Michael's planner, I think is more accurate. Wednesday, our new fridge got delivered, which was exciting, and they were in and out of here so quickly, which was fascinating. It was two like burly guys, friendly but burly, delivering the fridge. They were in and out of here super quickly. I didn't even know they had done what they had done. My husband worked from home this day, and then I graded a bunch of papers. And then I've been listening a lot to the Handsome podcast, which is a podcast of 3 comedians who I really like. So I marked that with these headphones from Corks and Corks Co. And then I decided to start an Olympic group chat among the people who had ticket slots this night. So I'm going to pull in a phone from Corks and Corks Co. as well. You can still get these. I believe Laurel's shop is open right now. And they draw all of these little icons. So that's cool. But yeah, I was like trying to wrap my head around like, who had a ticket slot when, what sports are we even trying to get, what's our game plan? So I'm like, I'm just going to start a new group chat specifically for Olympic ticket sales. And that worked out pretty well. So yes. And then watched a bunch of Game Grumps on YouTube. I feel really nasally today in my voice. I don't feel that congested until I start talking. Sorry about that. Thursday, I marked that it was 1 month till our Hayley Williams concert. So I'm going to bring in another Corks and Corks Co. sticker. It's this little mix CD, which I thought was cute for Hayley Williams because if you don't know, her whole website right now is like themed of like late 90s, early 2000s. So I thought the mix CD was fun for that. I went and taught my classes again. I lesson planned, I graded more papers, and then I was just really exhausted and grouchy this day. So I'm going to mark that with an In My Feels script from Bella Planella. And then I've been watching a lot of Stephen Colbert's show, The Late Show, lately because it's about to be off the air. And I've always been a big fan of his. Like, my brother and I were such nerds in high school. Like, we loved watching the Colbert Report. And I haven't watched The Late Show like that much. Like, I mostly watch clips of it. I used to watch it a lot when I was traveling with Clover and getting to Colorado late at night for her vet visits. So yeah, I'm going to miss that show. And I do think it's pretty stupid how it's getting taken off the air. My favorite late night hosts are John Oliver, who's obviously not on broadcast. He's on HBO. And then Stephen Colbert is like my favorite of like the mainstream broadcast late night hosts. So yeah, kind of stupid, but I don't control CBS. So anyway, Friday was payday, so I'm going to mark that with a script from Bella Planella. My husband started getting sick this day. He definitely picked up something, probably from somebody at the office. I think it's wild that like I teach college and I'm in a very like congregate setting all the time, and I like very rarely get sick. And like I teach in person mostly, where like in-person attendance is required. My husband gets sick way more than I do, and he works in an office where it's like they work a hybrid schedule. So I don't know what's going on with that, but he was sick for like a week. So I do have a tissue box sticker from Corks and Corks Co. that I'm going to pull in for that. And then this was where the big rainstorm started for this April weekend. I think it carried through just Friday through Sunday. But yeah, we got a lot of heavy rain. So that was good though, because like we had a pretty dry March. Our rain forecast, according to the local meteorologists, and like for some reason Sacramento, we have really good meteorologists here. Like our news network like attracts them for some reason. But like normally we're supposed to have like a bell curve throughout the winter and spring for like how much precipitation we get. But this year it was like very up and down. It was like super wet December, dry January, super wet February, dry March. Like it was really foggy in January, but like there wasn't a lot of rain. It was weird. So it's a very bizarre year. Anyway, I marked that it rained. I went and taught my Friday classes. And then after I got home from work, I was on the phone with my dad for like an hour trying to plot an Olympic ticket plan. Because basically my dad had a ticket slot, but it wasn't until the next week. And so you couldn't see the actual tickets, like what was available, unless your ticket slot time was open, and mine was. So I was just like running stuff by him of like, well, this is available at this price on this day. And we were trying to get like consecutive days, obviously, for different sports. So we worked out a plan and then planned to actually, no, then my brother texted me and said, do you want to meet up with me at my apartment? Dad's going to be here and then we can buy the tickets then. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Yeah, and then I marked that the Artemis 2 returned. Like I said, I had no idea they were going to land in San Diego, and I have sisters in San Diego, and my brother was there at the time too, visiting them. And so I never got an update on that. I'm just realizing. They supposedly went out to like the site where they were going to be landing, which like where they really landed was like so far out in the ocean that you couldn't see it from land, from what I understand. But I thought that was cool. So I had this cute little space sticker from Wonton in a Million, and then I layered over it this Planet Hannah cat sticker to represent Evie, because Evie was like watching the live stream of them landing with me, and like I said, she was fascinated, especially when like all the parachutes started going, because like it just looks like string to her. So she was fascinated. I think cats love space. Then this led to me either this week or the next week, like Googling, have we sent a cat to space? Yes, we have. I don't think the cat wanted to go. I don't think the cat had fond memories of it, but we have sent cats to space for some reason. It kind of gets dark, that story, so Google that carefully. But anyway, yeah, I was like watching the stream while driving over to, I was not driving, my husband was driving, just to be clear. Don't use your phone and drive at the same time. I speculate that might have been what caused that car crash on Tuesday. Yeah, don't do that. I was watching it as a passenger while my husband drove us over to my brother's apartment, and also when we went to dinner later, because I wanted to see it so badly, and like I'm such a big fan now of the whole crew. But yeah, I drove over to my brother's apartment, met up with him and my dad, and then my brother and I were each taking turns like buying tickets for the Olympics for 2028. So I have this cute ticket sticker from Planet Hannah. So yeah, we're going to a few different events. Yeah. Then my husband and I went out for date night. We went to one of our favorite dumpling restaurants, because when it's raining here, I really love getting this like chicken dumpling noodle soup. Actually, I might have gotten the pork dumpling noodle soup, but yeah, had to use a Wonton in a Million sticker for that. And the date night script is from Cinderella Paper, and I'm redoing all of these stickers because once you put foiled icons down, or at least once I put foiled icons down, or really anything on clear paper, I will not pick it up because it just will shred all of the ink. So I messed up somewhere with like my order of stickers here, so I needed to redo the stickers at the top of the day because they were not foiled stickers, and those were easier to pull up than the foiled stickers that are at the bottom of Friday. Anyway, Saturday it rained again. I played with Clover and I did laundry because I had lots of laundry to catch up on. I just this week, like, I'm finally getting caught up on laundry again, because like I fully acknowledge I have not had videos up like the last week or two. I've just been trying to wrap up the semester and get things done, and been feeling a little bit burnt out. So yeah, but then also my laundry's been piling up. Like my house is kind of messy. Like I got to catch up on some things, guys. But yeah, did that. Also played some Sims. This might have been the first day I played, or the last day that I played Sims until I mentioned it today. And then I was also reading this weekend because it was a rainy weekend. So I was reading this book of poems that a friend sent us. It's called Gold That Frames the Mirror by Brandon Melendez. Really would recommend it. It's a nice, lot of poems about like California, but also love, but also being Mexican American. So I think it's a really lovely book of poems. So I appreciate our friend sending us that. And then, like I said, Clover was like supercharged by thunderstorms this day. So I have two cats, if you don't know. Evie is a former stray cat, and she is terrified anytime that it rains, especially when there is thunder. She goes and runs and hides. Clover, technically also a stray cat, but I have a feeling she was raised in a home from a very young age. We got her when she was like 11 weeks old, and she was not shy at all. So clearly somebody like took care of her from a very young age. But she, I don't think, has ever really lived outside as far as I can tell. And so she gets really excited when it rains. She thinks it's so fascinating to watch. And then like when it thunderstorms, she just like runs crazy around the house. So it's funny that my two cats have very different reactions to storms like that. She just gets really excited. And then my husband and I played Mario Party on Saturday night, and I was just watching a bunch of comedy, probably on YouTube. Sunday, it rained again. I finished the book that I was reading. I trimmed my hair because I was due for that. So I think that The trim hair sticker I'm going to use is from Carly Plans. And then my husband and I were listening to Hayley Williams' album while we put together our book nook that I had received as a gift like a year or two ago. So that was cute to get that done finally. It had been like in shambles on the kitchen table for a month or two because we started it sometime in the winter and then like abandoned it because life got busy and we were doing other things outside of the house. But this day I was like, you know what? We're going to have an indoorsy weekend. Let's just get it done. And it turned out really cute. The only downside is that it came with these cute lights to like illuminate it, and like it would light up anytime you walked past it, and those died super quickly. I don't know if it's a battery issue or if it's an issue with the fusing of the actual lights. So I just ended up turning it off because it was like definitely dying out. But yeah, I used a cute Polly Pocket sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. to mark that because that's kind of what it reminded me of, and I didn't know what other type of sticker I could possibly use for that. And then I was just watching a bunch of SNL this night as well. Been kind of into Saturday Night Live the past few months as well, mostly because of like who's been hosting and things like that. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this week. I actually really like how it turned out, like fusing together these two different art sets and these two different kits. All of it was like blue and gold or blue and yellow, right? But I wanted to encapsulate like being enthralled by the Artemis 2 mission, and then also it being kind of a rainy, indoorsy, cozy weekend. So yeah, I like the touches of like celestial stuff and like odes to the moon and things like that. I think it's interesting, like a couple weeks after this, Noah Kahan's album came out, and one of his bonus tracks is called Orbiter. And like, I feel like that would go really well with the vibes of this kit. So yeah, I'm going to zoom out in just a little bit. Oh, I forgot to mention that on Sunday I also cleaned my wedding and engagement rings. That's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. as well. But as we've established, you can't buy those right now, very sadly. I know Tanya was doing grab bags for a little bit, but I don't think she has those on Etsy. I think that was just like a message her through Instagram thing. I try as much as possible with these types of kits, these leftovers from Cinderella Paper, to use scripts because the paper is the only thing you can write on it with is the Sharpie Ultra Fine Point. And like, I hate writing with that type of marker because my handwriting gets super messy. So yeah, just finishing up Sunday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a good week. I will probably be back online here with more Plan With Me's pretty soon, as long as my computer cooperates with me, because I've got like at least 2 other Plan With Me's filmed already. I just need to do the voiceovers for them. So you'll probably start seeing more from me pretty soon. But yeah, again, hope you have a good week. I will talk to you very soon. Bye.